Hey everybody, today is December 29th, and today I want to talk about why Bitcoin just crashed. Before we begin, please read this disclaimer, and you can pause this video as you read it. Okay. So why did Bitcoin just crash yesterday, right? Last week I put in this chart on Twitter. My Twitter account, oh, by the way, follow me on EddieLux _. Last week I talked about how my basic thesis was that if Bitcoin was able to break above 52,000, I would turn bullish and put in some long positions, right? But if Bitcoin broke below 47,000, I'll turn bearish and perhaps start to short the market, right? And in between is basically consolidation. I had no position on, and basically this was last week, and I wanted to see how the pattern would develop, right? And we saw that the market actually went up and it touched 52,000. It actually broke above very quickly, but it wicked back down, and so we basically got rejected. Bitcoin attempted to break above 52,000, but was rejected. As of now, I am still bullish above 52,000 and bearish below 47,000 with no position in between, right? So this was a chart that I put out yesterday, and pretty much the same is still going on today in terms of my reasoning. Bitcoin, of course, we want to see a strong break above 52,000, right? Because that will basically take out all of these lower lows. And in the past, when we had the huge rally that we're looking for, right? Something like here or over here, right? When we had these rallies, they completely took out all of these lower lows, right? All of these lower lows were taken out, and we had this rip up higher. And the psychology behind that is that the bears will look for any weakness to short the market, right? If any support is about to be broken, like we are around here, the bears are going to be like salivating and looking for opportunities to short the market when they believe there's going to be maximum pain, right? But if we have if the bulls are able to just rip the market higher, and just take out all these lower lows, there is no weakness in the market, and that's going to scare the bears, and they're not going to have the confidence or the guts to take in aggressive short positions, right? So that's what we wanted to see when we saw a nice bounce. We wanted to see it continue higher. Unfortunately, we weren't able to close strongly above 52,000. You see these two daily candles, these red daily candles over here with the long wicks, right? This is bearish. That means that the price attempted to break up to 52,000, but it got rejected 2 times, right? And eventually, the bulls lost hope and basically took this market down with a huge 6% down day, $3,000, right? All the way down to the 200-day simple moving average, which historically has held as strong support during a strong bull market. And we retested it about a week ago, and or a week or two ago, and we were able to hold it temporarily. But now we're down here again. And let me just bring up a clean chart so you can see how we were here, and then we spent a week up, tried to break above higher, failed, and so we're now basically coming down and retesting support. But we are having a higher low, which is bullish in the short term, but I mean that's just barely hanging on, right? I mean, like I said in the previous videos, not only are we're trying to hold the 200-day as support, which we're failing right now, we're below the 200-day, the blue line, right? But we're also trying to hold this Fibonacci line, which we just pierced below earlier today, right here. Right, this Fibonacci line is important, right? Because this is basically smack dab in the middle of this ranging this range right here, right, where we had the low at 30,000 and the high of this at around 65,000, right? And we tried to break and stay above twice here, and we tried to break below twice here, but we held it. And so we're basically in the middle of this channel, of this ranging channel for an entire year, and we're coming down to test this level again, right? Remember the last time we broke below this level, we plunged all the way down to the lower part of the channel, right? And when we broke above it, when we broke through, we were able to rip higher to the upper part of this range, right? So right now, Bitcoin is coming down to retest this level. If we can hold it, we can perhaps put in another attempt at this resistance level of the upper channel of this range. However, we break below, I believe we will not only break below, break through our first support level at 40,000, and we break below that, we'll probably come down to 30,000 again and try to retest that and see if we can hold that level, right? So that's where I think Bitcoin is going. If we aren't able to hold 47,000, likely we'll come down lower, and that's when I will enter my short positions. But if we are able to go up and perhaps try to break 52,000 again, if we can do that, then I believe we will rip up higher, and the next resistance will be around 60,000, right? Where these clusters of lower highs and lower lows are, and that we need to break up above, right? So right now the technicals are looking more bearish. Of course, we had a crossover here, which is nothing good as well. But yeah, we had a rejection up here, just to summarize, and then now we're coming down to retest the moving average. If we're able to hold, I can see us moving up higher. But right now it's Bitcoin is skating on thin ice, right? We really need buyers to come in and defend these levels, right? Because if we look at the MACD, right? The MACD was looking good, but now it's starting to fade, and that's bad. It's not even cross positive, right? The RSI was looking good, but now it's starting to fade again. So our oscillators, the oscillators were neutral, but now it's moving towards bearish, right? The daily price is below the 200-day. We just talked about that. That's bearish. The weekly price is also below the 50-day. And we talked about how that's usually a sign that we're about to enter a bear market, is if the price of Bitcoin it breaks below the 50-day, which is a silver line, we tend to move down lower, right? Over here, move down lower. And over here, we tried it. The bears tried to push the price below and keep it below the 50-day over here back in July, but the bulls were able to defend and push the price up higher, and that helped us avoid the bear market. And right now we are below it again, and we're going to have to defend this level, otherwise the price is going to go down and likely into a bear market, right? So bulls really, this is the moment truth, and it's also important because we're going to a new year, and the new year tends to be a kind of a way of resetting for the markets. So it's going to be very important that the bulls are able to defend 47,000, right? At the very least, defend 47,000 and break above 52,000, and that will allow us to attempt to go up even higher and try to break through 60,000. Let's look at some of the fundamentals, right? The stock market is doing very well. Stock market, this S&P 500 is basically at all-time highs. The Dow Jones just hit all-time high intraday today, but wasn't able to close at all-time highs, but still bullish, right? NASDAQ is near all-time high, but hasn't broken the all-time high. So the stock market is doing very well, and Bitcoin tends to follow the stock market, right? Because, of course, institutions have adopted Bitcoin. So they're going to treat it like they would treat stocks, right? It's usually, especially risk-on stocks. So Bitcoin tends to follow the NASDAQ very closely. Another good thing is that the hash rate is still in an uptrend, but we've had a bit of a pullback. Hash rate, even though it's in a nice uptrend, it still hasn't been able to reclaim and break above the previous all-time high set in April 14, which was basically our another local top of this year of the Bitcoin price. As you can see, April 14th over here. So we really need the hash rate to recover for the price of Bitcoin to go up higher. Dollar index still remains high. We said this in a previous video that the dollar index is inversely proportional to the price of Bitcoin, right? When the dollar is strong, Bitcoin tends to sell and go down, right? And this year, the dollar has been rising in a very steady manner. And right now it's consolidating, but it's still elevated, and so that's still putting downward pressure. What we want to see is a break below the 95 handle, and then see a downtrend start next year. And that's gonna take some of the selling pressure off Bitcoin and allow it to rise higher, right? So what is bullish, right? We talked about how I'm bullish about 52,000, bearish below 47,000. The daily price is technically still above this Fibonacci line, which is this purple area. As long as we're in this purple area, we still have a chance, right? But we're basically, like I said, skating on thin ice, so it's not like very bullish or anything. It's just barely bullish. So yes, so I don't have much confidence if we don't hold that. Weekly ascending triangle is still intact, as you can see. This ascending triangle, right? Lower highs, lower lows. So when do we break this triangle to the downside? If we break below 40,000 over here, if we break below 40,000, it's going to be very bad. That means we're going to we basically take out this low over here. It's going to be a lower low, right? And that's going to be very bad. So we need to defend 47,000. Or at least 47,000. If worst case scenario, 40,000, right? If we don't defend 40,000, I see it's coming down to 30,000, and we can basically go sideways between 30,000 and 60,000 for a long time. So bulls really need to come in and defend 47,000, right? Before it gets really nasty. What else? Price rejected 52K. We talked about that. Daily price below 200-day moving average. Oscillators are neutral, moving towards bearish, right? Oscillators were neutral, but yeah, we talked about how that sold off, and now it's moving towards bearish. Fear and greed index, still in fear, right? We were hoping that we would get something like we saw in July, or even in October, with these massive rallies, something like that, where Bitcoin price just rips up higher, right? But in order to do that, we need the fear and greed index to move up higher, like here and over here, right? And that's going to give more bulls confidence that they can go and take aggressive long positions without getting liquidated by the bears, right? But the fact that we're starting to roll over and turn from greed into fear, that's bad, because now that's going to give the bears more confidence to take on aggressive short positions, and yeah, and they're going to think that the bulls aren't going to come in, and it seems like right now the bulls aren't going to come in and save the market because we got rejected here, and that took a lot of the bulls' confidence and caused the market price to crash. So yeah, so that's pretty much Bitcoin going into the new year. I know it's disappointing to a lot of people. They were expecting Q4 to be, parabolic move like we saw in previous 4-year cycles, but it is what it is. You have to trade the market as it is, and not what you want it to be, right? And that's just basically the nature of trading. We don't know for sure what's going to happen, but we have to look at different scenarios and see the probabilities of which scenarios playing out depending on how the price action develops, right? So just to summarize, we got rejected by 52,000, which is why the market crashed, why the crypto markets crashed, right? But right now, the bulls are trying to put in work to defend 47,000, which is not only near the Fibonacci line, but support line, but also the 200-day moving average, right? So we need to defend these levels and bring the price up higher, right? And of course, defend this low that we put in 2 weeks ago. Around 45, just above 45,000, right? If we take out 47,000 and 45,000, I can see it's going below to 40,000, right? And once we take out 40,000, it's gonna be really ugly. And I think we're just gonna go down to 30,000 and retest this range support level that we did back earlier this summer, and of course in January, our first correction of this entire massive move up higher, right? So we'll see. The next video is going to be next year. So again, happy holidays for everybody. I hope you spent time with your friends and family this holiday season, and also Happy New Year. I'll come back on January 3rd, I believe will be the first Monday of the year, and we'll put a video updating and see if the bulls can put in the work and defend 47,000, defend this Fibonacci support level, and defend the 200-day moving average, right? If not, it's gonna get pretty ugly, and but we'll be there to navigate the market with you, and yeah, we'll see how this price action develops going forward. Also, just to reiterate, for me personally, I have no position right now. Above 52,000, or sorry, above 52,000, that's when I'm starting to get bullish, and I'm going to be thinking about going long. And below 47,000 and especially 45,000, I'll be taking much more aggressive short positions and capitalizing on a possible move down to 40,000 or even below. So again, I will update you on January 3rd, the new year 2022, and see how this price action develops going forward. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it useful, informative, please like this video, leave a comment below, and subscribe for updates. I appreciate all your support. Thank you again, and have a great day.